National Hispanic Heritage Month. We know it's a growing population here in North Carolina. The state now has the 10th largest Latino and Hispanic population in the country. And one of the challenges families face when they come here is, of course, language. Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools has more than 50,000 language minority students, meaning those kids speak something other than English. The vast majority of them speak Spanish. And the data shows us those kids who are English learners are more likely to fall behind, I should say, in school. The most recent CMS report card shows 52.7% of all students are at grade level. For English learners, it's a shade under 24%. Graduation rates, they're at 84% overall. See the number? For English learners, it's lower at 65%. That is where the Charlotte Bilingual Preschool comes in. For 25 years now, it has been preparing Spanish-speaking children for success in the classroom. They started with 15 kids in 1999. They now have more than 200 preschoolers in the program. And when those 3- and 4-year-olds head off to pre-K or kindergarten, the vast majority, like 80+%, are prepared to do well. If they're not prepared, if they don't speak some English, at least going into kindergarten, how far behind are they then?
Well, it won't be as easy for them. Let's just put it that way. They will be going on the same race, but not starting on the same path.
Anna Ray is the CEO at Charlotte Bilingual Preschool. Bilingual is obviously in the name itself. It's telling you that you're not trying to erase their heritage or where they came from. You're just trying to make them adapt to what they're going to face in school, correct?
Yes, we want them to study in English and study in Spanish. So our program has 1 day in English, 1 day in Spanish. We have lead teachers in both languages, and we encourage the children to speak in the language that they feel more comfortable or to the lead teacher they prefer to speak with.
Why is it important to follow that model?
Well, we are being inclusive. We have what we call language justice, making sure that we're not erasing language, culture, styles. We're just adding on, making sure that the children that are coming out of this school have as many advantages as all the other children that are monolingual.
The 3-year-olds here go half days, the 4-year-olds full days. The teachers are highly educated. Many have master's degrees. And the tuition is covered thanks to a mix of county and private donations. And while children's education is the main focus, it's not the only one.
We engage the families. We engage them through various workshops, various opportunities for them to grow in their financial literacy. We have workshops on taxes, law, mental health, nutrition. I mean, there's a gamut of it.
What kind of impact has it had on your life and your adjustment to living in Charlotte?
She says that as a group, as Latinas coming in, as immigrants, knowing that there are other people that are going through the same stuff and experience that she was going through, she thought that coming here to Charlotte Bilingual, she actually said she came running to Charlotte Bilingual to make sure that she found her community.
Marisol's son is a preschooler here.
Her son is learning more English as the days go by, that she loves how much love the teachers are giving her son, that when he goes through a rough patch, she knows that they're there to support him, to engage him.
And like almost all parents whose kids go here, Marisol is also a volunteer, getting about as much out of the school as her son.
What we have here is a community of women uplifting other women. That the message is, yes, you can. In Spanish is si se puede. So everybody's uplifting everybody. Yeah, so that's why we are trying to not only help the children be successful in kindergarten, but also the families, to empower them, for them to know that they are the first resource for their children. So we see ourselves as the ecosystem, but also a way to have more social capital and uplift our community.
If you would like to learn more or perhaps donate to their wish list, just follow this QR code to the Share Charlotte website. It's an easy way to do good in our community.